What's going on, guys? It's Thomas from the Switched Up, and I'm joined by PJ. And today we're going to be talking about a ton of stuff, a bunch of like Nintendo Direct talk, a bunch of Nintendo fan base talk, all of that in this podcast, which is known as Nintendo Tonight. And once again, PJ, we did it. We're recording at night. This is just
Three-peat, bro.
absolutely, I know, the three-peat. It doesn't get
Yep.
much better than this. It's actually all
Yeah.
downhill from here. This is the last episode of Nintendo Tonight. That's not true, but it is the ninth episode of Nintendo Tonight, and we have some pretty
Yep.
cool stuff planned for episode 10, episode X, if you're a tech company, because I feel like most tech companies use X instead
Yeah,
of
no one
10.
uses the number 10, but
Yeah, but maybe
yeah.
we should have actually skipped over 9 to be a true tech company like Windows and Apple.
Why do they
But
even do that, by the way? Like,
I think Windows 8 was just so ultra mega bad that they just jumped straight to 10 because Windows 8 is the worst. I actually have a funny story about trying to
uh,
repair my grandma's virus infested laptop
oh
that was on
god.
Windows 8. I'm like, Grandma, how did you get a virus on this? All you do is go to Facebook. I opened her like file explorer. She literally had the install for Google Chrome, and that was the only legitimate file on her computer. Everything else was just straight viruses. It was so
Wow.
bad. But I did it. Being the technology wizard that I am, really was not that complicated. But it is what it is. I mean, I'll take
Oh,
autographs later. But yeah, no. Okay, getting back onto the Nintendo talk. Ninth episode. We do have some cool stuff planned for later, but we'll we'll
we'll
we'll
talk about
save
that at
that
the
for
end of the
when it actually
episode.
happens.
Yep.
Of course.
Yep.
We got some cool stuff though. Earlier today, on the day we're recording this, so probably a couple
20th.
days
Yep.
ago, when you guys are eventually listening to this, Nintendo had a big questionable moment. They have a lot of questionable moments. This one was pretty questionable. We're gonna be talking about that. Their Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase. Ooh, very exciting. Um, it was actually not that exciting, spoiler alert, but we'll get into that. And then we'll talk about the toxic Nintendo fan base. Bro, these people, they get so pressed over video. Like, it's literally, I don't want to say it's our job, because I mean we're both like, neither of us, use the channel to like support us. We're not, independent because of YouTube, but
Yep.
this is essentially our job, and we're not even that pressed about it. And people are just like, people are pissed, and then people are pissed at people being pissed, and everyone's pissed, and then like a very select few amount of chill people, and then the Shin Megami Tensei fans are just like wilding out because they got some crazy news for the first time in like a long while. So I mean, good for them, I guess. But yeah, then we're gonna jump straight into fan questions as we usually do,
Yep.
and we got some cool stuff in the outro as well. And of course, it wouldn't be a Nintendo Tonight podcast without some random rants throughout this video. So stay tuned for those. I think we should actually start predicting what the rants are before they happen. Like, I'll write down, okay, PJ's gonna go on a rant about Pokemon. Then you can go, oh, Thomas is gonna go on a rant about like 3D World.
3D
Then when it
World.
happens,
Yep.
we can like cross it off on our little like rant bingo cards. And if we get it, we shout out bingo. It's just stupid, but it could spice things up a little.
That'd be interesting for like episode 20 or something like that when we
Yeah,
actually
that would be fun.
get
Actually, that would be really
further
fun.
into it. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a good idea. So we can go to the first topic if you want.
Of course, go right
Yeah.
ahead.
All right. So this is literally what we have written down. What the hell is Nintendo doing? Like, okay, so we got this Direct Mini. It was like kind of announced pretty quickly last night,
Hmm.
and pretty early. It was like 10 a.m. EST, and it was a Direct Mini, but it wasn't the normal Direct Mini. It was a partner showcase, and it was only like 10 minutes long, and we really didn't get anything. Like people were expecting like Mario remaster and
Well,
like
no, okay.
Metroid Prime 4 and all that stuff.
Once it was announced to be a partner showcase,
Oh yeah, yeah,
then people didn't expect the Mario remasters, because
yeah.
we got to be very careful on how we phrase our sentences here, PJ. Because if not, people will. I put out a video today, like
Oh
on
yeah.
the 20th. There were a couple times I like misspoke, and like I thought it was pretty obvious what I was trying to get to. Lord, no. Okay, so I will, we should correct each other, PJ. Have a mutual
Yeah, sure.
truce, so we don't get absolutely lampooned in the comments. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think what we're trying to say is, as soon it was announced to be a partner showcase, obviously no one thought it was going to be 3D World. I put out a tweet that was like a joke about that, but then it was too sarcastic. People didn't get it was
Yeah.
sarcastic. So I
It
just
was it was just
yeah.
disappointing to see is what I'm trying to say, because the direct that we were getting kind of notified about of leaks had a bunch of these big games supposedly being announced or shown off, but what actually got announced was a partner showcase, and I personally wasn't a fan of it, at least because it
Yeah.
just didn't show anything that interested me whatsoever. Just as soon as I saw it was announced, I was like, Jesus, man, because we've kind of lamented over the year how like is like the pandemic. It's kind of understandable, but they did say at a shareholders meeting that like none of their first party games are delayed or anything. So like, what was their
That's what
original
pisses me off.
plan? Yeah, like what was their
Exactly, bro.
original plan going into this year? Like when you look at the first party slate of games that they have out, it's Animal Crossing and Paper Mario. And Paper Mario, like what I've seen from Twitter, I haven't actually looked up any reviews, but like kind of what I've seen people saying is either it's like it just kind of seems okay, like it doesn't seem like the best of all time, like in terms of like Paper Mario games, but like it's just like eh. But Animal Crossing, obviously that game is great. And kind of funny, our friend Brad BR Mini posted on Twitter saying is something about like Nintendo's first party lineup for the holiday, and it's like Animal Crossing winter update. I was like,
That's actually
yeah,
hilarious. I didn't see that.
yeah, it's like kind of realistic maybe, but
Yeah.
like what are they doing? Like, what are your thoughts on this? Because I'm just really confused. Like, we're almost in August now. We still know nothing about like any first party games, even though they're still claiming that nothing is delayed.
Yeah. That's what gets me the most annoyed is that they said nothing was delayed. I'll talk about that in a second though. I wanna touch on something you said earlier, which I find so annoying, is that when PJ says, the only games that they've released so far are this year are like, Paper Mario and Animal Crossing. Of
Yep.
course we know that like there was like that like what's it even called? It's like Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. It's like Tokyo Mirage Sessions, like Sharp FE. That came out like this January. Clubhouse Games came out. If anyone even remembers that.
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles came out. Definitive Edition came out. First of all, some of those aren't even developed by Nintendo. Okay, those are like a fair amount of those are like external studios. I know at least Clubhouse Games was ND Cube, which is the culprit of the more recent Mario parties, which I'm not getting into that. Then
That's yeah, different rant for later. You can definitely go
yeah,
on for at least 30
definitely
minutes about that, but we'll
100%.
I think we should do a Mario Party episode eventually down the line
That's a good
when we
idea.
get some time. Yeah, cuz that
I
game
was
was a little
yeah.
bit of a mess.
Actually, I started brainstorming for a huge Mario Party video essay that would end up being 3 different videos.
Oh wow.
So I'm actually curious if you guys, anyone listening to this, would you be interested in this? Because I guess I'll just use this as this Nintendo Tonight platform as a way to gauge interest, because this would be a pretty big project. It would be like a
Yep.
it'd be like a well, the first one would be like, what made like the classic Mario parties so good. Then the second one would be like, the fall of Mario Party, mainly focused on Super Mario Party, because that
Yep.
honestly I do think it's probably the worst Mario Party out of the main like series. Like I do honestly think it's worse than 10, because 10, I had some fun with 10 with like the Bowser mode, like that was at least trying to be unique. But that's a topic for another time. And then the last video would be like, where does Nintendo go from here? Like how can you make Mario Party great again? How can you make Mario Party great again? And then I would probably put those out 3 on their own, and then
Uh,
maybe make like a super cut of them all at the end. But
yep.
yeah, would you guys be interested in that? Because that's like a really big project, and I don't know. I've never really done Mario Party videos, so I'm curious to see how well that would do. But anyway, I said I wasn't gonna go on a rant about Mario Party, then I ended up going on a rant about Mario Party. Happens to the best of us. But
Yeah, you're good. You're
uh,
good.
but what was I talking about before Mario
You were
Party?
talking
No,
about what Nintendo was kind of doing this year, and you were talking about
yeah, yeah, yeah,
uh
yeah, yeah.
the games that they
ND
released at
Cube.
the beginning
Yeah,
of the year. Yeah,
Clubhouse
there you go.
Games. Clubhouse Games, bro. Clubhouse Games. That was made by ND Cube, which was the culprit of the Mario Party. Then
Mhm.
obviously Monolith Soft did Xenoblade. So the only game that Nintendo's internal studio has put out this year, like coming from within Nintendo, no like subsidiaries worked on it. The only game is Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing, yeah.
That is nuts. How is that even possible? I understand that COVID probably impacted them really hard, and I would be so forgiving. I understand how bad COVID is. It's impacted like people I know, like family members. It's a really big thing. And I obviously it's not as bad in Japan now. I was looking at the graphs before this. It's not as bad in Japan, but obviously it is still ever present as it is all across the world.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Um I would be so quick to forgive, even though like other game companies are doing perfectly fine. Ubisoft just had a Ubisoft Forward, and they're showing off a ton of new games for the late this year, early next year. Obviously, PlayStation and Xbox are still somehow launching a console with numerous exclusives coming, like Halo Infinite, Miles Morales. I would be, even though all those are happening, I would be so willing to forgive Nintendo and say, you know what, guys, it's a global pandemic. I'm not gonna be mad at you guys for having to delay games, but they came out and said that the pandemic isn't affecting them. So then we're
Yeah.
in this situation where, okay, my brain and my eyes, all my senses are telling me it is clearly affecting them. Look at their lineup; they have nothing.
Yep. Yep.
And whenever I say, guys, what is Nintendo doing? I always get at least one comment saying, we're in the middle of a global pandemic. Please calm down. If video games are what you're worried about right now, then your priorities are wrong. I'm like, well, I wouldn't be worried at all. I would be actually, supportive of Nintendo taking a break and making sure their developers are safe if they didn't say that it wasn't going to affect them at all. So they're playing like both sides of the coin here. Like they're going, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we're still working fine. But then they're also not putting anything out and not getting any slack for it because it's a global
Yep.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Like they gotta like choose a side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I just wish that they didn't really say that because it is really confusing. Like, you would have to think, like, seriously, you would have to think now that there's some sort of direct next month. Like, now we're hearing rumblings of an actual, like, direct mini.
Oh
That's like
my god,
actually a
no
direct
way.
mini. And don't even get me started on the fact that apparently there's going to be more, whatever term they used for the direct, the
Present like
showcase.
partner
Yeah,
showcase.
partner showcase. Yeah, apparently there's going to be more partner showcases throughout the year. So, there's a whole lot to take them or to oh my god to take from this. Oh my god, stutter.
Yeah.
Um, so like,
Great Mike.
is this yeah? Is this the direction that like directs are gonna go from now on? I remember we talked about last episode, I believe, about maybe they go or shy away from directs now and do like tree houses or something. Maybe they do these different types of showcases for companies or some sort. And then you also take from this like, is there going to be a direct in August now? And like, are these rumors about a actual direct mini next month true? And I don't know. There's just a lot to take from this, but overall, the situation to me is very confusing. I feel like from the get go, they should have just said that the pandemic was affecting them because it clearly is. Because I don't know, man. Like, I feel like after having a pretty good year in 2019 from Nintendo, like, if this was your original plan, like, I'm just confused.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I 100% agree. It makes absolutely no sense to see them have a pretty successful 2019. I mean, we don't think about it that much, but like Pokemon did really well. It got overshadowed by Animal Crossing, which, did insanely well this year, but Pokemon like was setting records up until Animal Crossing like broke those records. But
Hmm.
like you can't like think about if obviously there was no pandemic, Nintendo would have had E3. There's no way they were basing their entire E3 showcase off Paper Mario and Min Min. They would have like Min Min and Smash. I mean, they obviously would have in the direct, even if the main game on the show floor or whatever was Paper Mario. They 100% would have shown off what is coming up for the rest of this year. So
Yep.
it makes me so is so
So many
confused.
emotions. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an emotional roller coaster here. No,
Yeah.
I just like it's so weird. The one good thing I can see from these partner directs though, and especially because they said in the partner direct that there's at least one more happening this year. Um, the one good thing I can see from this is that they're getting all the like third party announcement, like the smaller third party announcements out of the way, and maybe including one relatively big third party announcement. I know Shin Megami Tensei. I know there's a lot of fans of that series that are, within the Nintendo community and online,
Yeah.
but the very, very, very few casuals are buying Shin Megami Tensei games. That's just like a fact of life. I'm like, that's not a knock on the
Yeah.
quality of the games
Yeah.
at all. I've never played them. They could be amazing. My sister got Persona 5, which I know is a spin-off series of Shin Megami Tensei, and she says that that's some of the most fun she's ever had playing games. Not knocking the quality at all. I'm just simply stating a fact that those are not very popular games outside of the core audience, the core JRPG audience. So
Yeah.
if you look at if you just look at like what Nintendo's doing, they could be kind of taking these games that do have fans. As much as I hate to admit it, all the games they showed off here, even WWE, have fans. If no one was going to buy the games, they wouldn't be made. But they're taking these games that have fans but aren't, they're not, the fans aren't like huge fan bases like Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, any Nintendo franchise, or like even big third party stuff like all the Bethesda announcements or Bayonetta or stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're taking all those franchises and shoving them into these partner directs, which the concept of a partner direct or a Nintendo partner direct mini is it's a very smart idea. The issue is just drop the direct branding. Call it a Nintendo mini or a Nintendo like partner showcase. And no one would have been like, oh, this sucks, because there would have been no expectations. But as soon as you put the word direct in there, even direct mini, people were like, oh, it's just a mini. The last direct mini was half an
Half an
hour.
hour. Yeah. Yeah.
You can't say that because it was a direct mini. Oh, your expectations are too high. And we'll get into this when we get into the next subject, which is talking about how toxic the fan base has been just
Hmm.
about this and everything regarding this direct.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you can like if Nintendo had just made this a Nintendo partner showcase, just like that, like
Yeah.
kind of like how indie presentations aren't directs. So like if
Yeah.
they called it an indie direct, people would be expecting like a Cadence of Hyrule level announcement in every one. Speaking of which, that got DLC today, but
Yeah.
people would be expecting that high of an announcement in every one,
Hmm.
but people don't expect that because it's not the direct branding isn't associated with it. So when there is something like Cadence of Hyrule or Cuphead coming to Switch, because that was really big back when that was announced, or something of that gratitude. Ori coming to Switch was another big one. When there is something of that, it's more impactful because you're not expecting something like that. It's more of like a hey, the bar's down here, so when there's something really high, really good that happens, people get excited rather than the bar's all the way up here.
Yep.
So when something that high doesn't happen, it's disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, I think a big problem was the branding. Definitely, I completely agree with the sentiment there. Um, I mean, like Pokemon Presents, for example, that's great
Exactly. Yeah.
because there's like something that's classified as a Pokemon Direct that they've done like at the beginning of the year most of the time. Um, and they obviously show off like the mainline series games. So I feel like
Hmm.
if it was just like a Nintendo Presents like partner showcase or Nintendo partner showcase, whatever you would want to do that as, I think it's that's fine. Like the moment that Nintendo of America tweeted that out and the way that it was phrased, it was just a downhill, just complete like disaster
Yeah.
from
Exactly.
like the entire fanboy or fan base. I almost just said fanboys. Fan base
Yeah.
like entirely. Yeah, people were not happy. I definitely wasn't either, but I was just like, eh. I mean, like I'm not gonna throw a fit on Twitter about it like a bunch of other
Exactly.
people did, but it's just it's ridiculous. Like you know, like listening to you talk, and I was just kind of realizing like what would they have done at E3? Like were they thinking of playing Paper Mario the Origami King for 3 days or Min Min for 3 days? Like it really like it makes me wonder. Like again, going
Yeah.
back to that claim of like nothing's delayed. Like, are you sure nothing's delayed? Are you sure that you're
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
held back by this pandemic? Like, really?
Hmm.
So I don't know, man. I feel like they have to make a move next month at least, or then I'm gonna seriously start to get concerned. But the kind of the kind of title of the segment, like what the hell is Nintendo doing, is just kind of like
Yeah,
I'm just confused. That's all. I think a lot of people share my sentiment there. Like I don't know, man. I hope they get their stuff together next month at least, because this, at least for me, didn't really show anything that interested
exactly.
me at least.
Yeah, and it's just like even if you are a huge fan of Shin Megami Tensei, you cannot deny that this was like I saw people that were like Shin Megami Tensei is my favorite series of all time. I've been waiting years for news on the fifth game. I'm so over the moon right now.
Okay, like good for
And
you.
then
That's
no, no,
great.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like good for you. And then literally in the next line of their post, they were like, if you don't like Shin Megami Tensei, I'm so sorry, that was ass. Like they're literally admitting that like yeah, if my favorite thing wasn't there, I mean it's not a good direct, which like it's not. And so that's when it gets into the like the
Yeah.
discussion of okay, and this kind of segues into Nintendo's fan base being toxic.
Yep.
Just so brutal, dude. It's so
It's
bad.
terrible.
It's
It's so
so
terrible.
cringy to see too, because like I,
Yep.
I I don't think I was ever on the level of the people I see Twitter, but
I
I used to
was,
like I
unfortunately.
used to I was so into Nintendo. I was like, oh my god, I love. And I mean, I'm wearing a Super Mario Bros. Shirt right now for people who can see it on YouTube. And a Super
Yep.
Mario hat. So, and I got a Breath of the Wild poster in the back. I'm clearly still a huge Nintendo fan, right? Um, but I don't the company is not my friend. The company is a business. And I understand that, hey, if the business puts out something that we do not agree with, or if a business fails to show off a product that we want, or fails to show off literally anything, then
That interests us. Yeah.
as the consumer, it is perfectly within our right to like get angry, like, or not angry as in like like fuming, like oh, but like angry as in like Nintendo, what the hell, like it's so annoying to see people like, oh, it's just Nintendo, like how are you gonna get mad at Nintendo, like they defend Nintendo every single step of the way. And so
Yep.
even as soon as Nintendo announced the Nintendo Direct Mini Showcase, I'm pretty sure everyone knew, like 30 minutes after that was announced and everyone kind of understood what it meant. No one was expecting the Marios or the Zeldas or Breath
Oh
of the
my
Wild or
god.
new Smash characters. Some people were. I saw your tweet, PJ.
There,
Some
yeah,
people were.
there was some kid. I'm calling him out. There's some kid on YouTube that had like Nintendo Direct mini live reaction, and it had like Super Mario All Stars 2, Fighter Pass 2,
Yeah,
Breath of the
I saw
Wild
that.
2, and I was like, dude, like, can you read, or are you just like trying to
Yeah, no,
clickbait? Like,
those people are
it's so
terrible.
bad.
But there are some people that, or not some people. I think that is actually a very small portion of the people, though. I
Yeah,
think
but
the
I saw
majority,
that, I was like, bro, come on, man.
of course, yeah. But I think the majority of the people, um, the reason they got mad at the Direct Mini was because it was a Nintendo Direct Mini partner showcase and not
Yeah.
Nintendo showing off actual stuff. It wasn't the physical contents of the Direct that got a lot of people mad. It was the fact that they were doing a Nintendo Direct Mini partner showcase, something they've literally never done before. When we are in like unprecedented territory for modern Nintendo. They 100% should have had some sort of big showcase right now showing everything off,
Yeah,
because they
I think
said
we can both agree. Yeah, I think
yeah,
we can both agree like that should have happened. Like,
of
and
course.
if they don't do it, then it has to make me assume like seriously, were they really gonna ride on Paper Mario and Animal Crossing for the whole year? Like,
Mm.
I don't know. Like
I,
that,
I I seriously hope not, but like at this point, if
man.
they don't show anything off, then like I
You
mean
have to
maybe, because
assume.
apparently the games haven't been delayed because of COVID. Remember that? So
Yeah, okay.
I mean, no one. The thing that gets me so mad is though, there are these people out there that like, if anyone talks crap about Nintendo, like I tweeted, like I didn't actually tweet this out, but I was thinking of tweeting something like like the mini direct sucked, and I didn't tweet it out, so I ended up just putting it. Like I said it. as kind of like a throwaway sentence in my video that I put up today. So many people were like, "That mini direct sucked. It was a mini, dumbass. Do you know how to read? Oh, this kid's just mad because he bought into rumors and the Mario rumors because I made so many videos about the Mario rumors. They're like, oh, you were disappointed the Mario
Yeah,
rumors weren't there. It's like,
yeah.
okay, well, if you watched my video from a couple of days ago, yeah, obviously I thought the Mario rumors were going to be in the direct. Literally anyone who believed the rumors did. But as soon as they announced the mini direct, I got my expectations, like my expectations were in check. I put out a tweet last night before the direct even happened that
Yeah.
it was kind of a long tweet, but the gist of it was, Nintendo, what the hell are you doing? Because I knew that there was going to be nothing big shown at this. So it's clear that I don't, it's not that I can't read the mini direct. It's that I'm generally mad that this is the situation that we're in.
Hmm.
And okay, when I say like I'm generally mad, this is another thing I see. So many people are like, it feels like they're like life and death pissed about this. When I say generally mad, I go, damn, like that sucks, and I won't be able to make the videos I want to make. Oh well. And then I go about my day. Like people are like, oh, are you kidding me, Nintendo? We didn't get the Mario remasters. Oh my god, dude. And then there are people on the other side of the spectrum like, oh, you thought there were going to be Mario remasters? You are an idiot. There's no way that was going to happen. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? It's Nintendo. It's like Mario. This is like as much
Yeah.
as we
The
enjoy these
community
games, they're
is
made for
always divided.
7-year-olds.
Hmm.
Exactly. It's these games are made for like kids essentially, and I know that pretty much everyone in the community um is like it's a wide age range. Like
Yeah.
there are
Wide
literal kids in
demographic.
the
Yeah.
community.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, we both know, PJ. There are kids in the community, like kids who watch our videos. Then there are people like our age,
Yep.
like I don't want to say young adult because that makes me sound cringe, but like
I know what
older
you mean. Yeah.
teenager to young adult, like that
Yep.
generation. Then
Yep.
there are people older than us, like adults and stuff like that. And and to see these people so unbelievably mad. It's one thing to be passionate about Nintendo. I am extremely passionate about Nintendo. I
Yeah. Me
truly
too.
do love this company and I follow them extremely closely. But when and they are a huge part of my life too. I mean, this channel is the biggest like factor of my life right now, and this channel solely revolves around what Nintendo is currently doing. So
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
kind of hand in hand there. But like when something happens with Nintendo that you don't agree with, like tweet about it. Like say, "Oh, I'm pissed." Like even make a video about it if you have a YouTube channel or a passion for making videos. But don't let it ruin your week. Like what is wrong with people? They're so pressed about Mario. It's like, come on, bro. Like it don't matter. And then there's
Yeah.
people on the other side too that are like, they're getting so mad at other people who are just voicing their general displeasure. Like I made a video today. I was like, "Hey, I thought that direct kind of sucked." Like I just said that in the video, and then people are getting so mad in the comments. Like, "How did you think the direct sucked? It was a mini." I'm like, "Bro, I'm at a loss for words. I'm actually at a loss for words. What? Why are people like this, PJ? Please explain to me,
I
because
I
I'm just trying
couldn't.
to
I
chill."
really couldn't tell you, dude. I mean, like you said a lot. I just.
I
It's
went on a tangent. That was my rant. I've had that built up. I've been seeing all the comments.
built
I got
up
that
for
building up.
24 hours. Yeah, I feel you.
More like 2
It's
years, but yeah, 24 hours, I guess.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean it's rough. I mean the entire like Twitter is just so divided, like always regardless. But there's like always two kind of sections that I've noticed. It's the people who say, God, you're so ungrateful. How dare you criticize Nintendo? And then it's the people who are just like completely negative always. And it's like, oh, this sucked. Oh, this sucked. Oh, this sucked. Which I've been on both sides many times. But it's
Yeah, so toxic.
like I mean if you even look at the like to dislike ratio on the direct itself, I mean it's just a lot more dislikes than likes, I believe, or it's equal, which is not very good, but
It's like close to equal. I think there's still more likes
yeah.
than dislikes, but it's equal.
Yeah, so I feel like it's kind of justified, but at the same time, like you kind of have to understand people. Like we are in unprecedented territory, like you said, like in this pandemic, right? So no one could foresee that like we would have some sort of small direct here where you would have like no news because like we say this almost every episode. Like right now we would be talking about like E3 stuff and we would have made like 20 plus videos about like stuff that was announced at E3 and all that. And,
Yeah.
obviously there was no E3 this year or main treehouse or, whatever Nintendo was planning to do this year. So, I think that people kind of have to, instead of just raging at people on Twitter over, like, why is this direct so terrible and everything, like, you have to kind of understand people's viewpoint there, um, of just their displeasure with not having, like, a huge announcement or anything, because, like, this is just the formula every year. Like, we would have this stuff, and to like not have it, it's just kind of like, okay, like, we're almost in August. Like, where's it at, Nintendo, right? So,
Hmm.
I mean, I understand, but at the same time, people are kind of going too far, I think. Um, and then some people are making jokes about it, like, like, our mutual friend Jordan on Twitter, I think.
Yeah.
He made a tweet. It was pretty funny, and it was just Mario Kart Tour announcing that now you can play portrait and landscape mode on it. And then he was just like, "How is this announcement better than the entire direct that we got today?" I was like, that was kind of
And
funny.
the replies in that tweet, I guarantee you were toxic.
Oh
If you guys don't
my,
follow Jordan, by the way, follow, I think it's like Dynamo Super.
yeah, it is. It
Is
is. Yeah,
his at man. That dude is hilarious. He is so
doesn't
funny,
miss on Twitter. Does not
bro. He
miss.
he does not miss. He don't miss. Jordan straight up never misses that guy.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but yeah, I mean, at the same time, going back to the toxic fan base, I mean, I'm kind of understanding of some people, but at the same time, some are going a bit too far, I feel, because, at the end of the day, is just video
it's
games, right?
Nintendo,
Yeah. Yeah.
bro.
So,
Come on.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
rough. I just, I just want to hear something, dude. I mean, like, honestly, I texted you, like, last night, and I was like, I mean, we have to
yeah,
see a Bayonetta 3 release date. No, we didn't. I was actually surprised. I was like, wow, we didn't get that.
yeah.
Um, like,
Even for
what were
even for
you
our low
expecting?
expectations.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Like, what were you
even for our
expecting
low
to see? Yeah,
expectation. Okay. I was expecting Bayonetta. I was expecting No More Heroes. Um, I was hoping for something like I didn't think we'd get anything Metroid Prime 4 related, but something
yeah.
of that like
Magnitude. Yeah.
because that was like people go, "Oh, Metroid Prime 4, can you read Partner Showcase?" That is a different developer. That is Retro Studios. So they are a partner of Nintendo. That is not
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo. So it was technically possible in the same way that, Cadence of Hyrule is Zelda, but it is worked on by Brace Yourself Games and not Nintendo. Therefore, they could show it off. Same exact rules apply to Metroid Prime 4. Now that I know, now that I know that those, um, now that I know that these, developer showcases or partner showcases are very small announcements. I do think that having like a wish of Metroid Prime 4 was incredibly unrealistic.
Yeah.
But that wasn't even what I was expecting. I was expecting like No More Heroes or Bayonetta because once again those are cool franchises, really great games. They're not super popular,
Yep.
so it wouldn't be like Nintendo was missing out on like a broader audience. Like if Nintendo randomly showed in like an Animal Crossing update or something like that into this, they'd miss out on a broad audience seeing it. If they showed off like No More Heroes stuff, anyone who cares enough about No More Heroes would have definitely like heard it or seen it. So it was not like that was not unrealistic, I think. But even then,
Yep.
the only legitimate thing they showed off was Shin Megami Tensei. So
Yeah. I mean, I guess we'll have to see. I mean, you gotta think, are they gonna do a first party centric direct and maybe they just split it up? Like, I just wish they were more vocal with us generally. And just as a side note, like, it really doesn't help their situation that they talk it up like it's something big when it's really nothing at all. Like, this is something that really made me mad about the Pokemon Presents. Like, they talked up like, we got a big announcement for next week. You remember we talked about this in a
yeah, let's
episode
go.
about the Pokemon MOBA, and we were thinking like, let's go Johto. I mean, like, look at all those Johto plushies in the back, like 100%. You know, or people were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get Sinnoh remakes announced," which I think that was a little crazy, but it was a possibility. And then
Yeah.
their quote unquote big announcement was a Pokemon like MOBA. It's like,
App and in app. It like that's all you need to hear. It's
yeah,
technically on Switch 2, but it was an app. Like it was a mobile game.
yeah. I
So
mean, I mean, you don't really see that lasting very long, to be honest. And I mean, we kind of came to a conclusion that they want to classify that as a big project so it can do well, because of course you want to dabble into that market and dabble into
Hmm.
that sort of esports community,
Of
because
course, yeah, MOBAs
League
are
of
huge.
Legends, meet League of Legends and Smite and Dota, millions are on those type of games, esports revenue, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
So I understand it, but just kind of like that whole idea of them talking it up like that. I don't know if you could really compare the Pokemon MOBA to this, but anyway, just the direct mini. I wish they. I don't know how they would have done it. Like maybe what you said. Maybe just the Nintendo showcase instead of
that's
putting
exactly
direct in the
it.
name.
If they didn't put direct in the thing, because imagine you're us last night, BJ. They tweet out where everyone's expecting a direct tomorrow, and then they tweet out, "Hey, there's a Nintendo Switch partner showcase where we're showing off a couple of games coming to us from third parties." No one expects anything big from that. Excuse me, but then they do this. Just the fact that it's the name direct is there, whether this is fair or not, it's only human to expect something from a direct. Every single direct, even if it's a mini, even if it's a big thing, has like that. It has a big announcement in the middle and
Yep.
and like a wow announcement at the end. If this was a normal Nintendo Direct, Shin Megami Tensei would not have been a
The
big
focal
announcement
point.
it would have been the middle. It would have been the filler in the middle that some people got excited about.
Yeah. I mean, Direct is a big name. It's a big brand. Like we talked about this before too.
Yeah.
Like directs are huge, and the fact that you want to classify something as little as this as direct and just have people perceive it as like the direct, which is like supposed to be 30 plus minutes of Nintendo announcements that a wide audience is actually going to care about. It's like bad. I mean, you just wish they would name it something different, but I guess they screwed up there, and I hope that they learn next time when they decide to do another partner showcase, which I'm sure will be perceived as badly, if not worse, as this one,
Well,
if they
I
do
feel like
something
now
like that
everyone
again.
knows.
Well,
I feel like
well,
now everyone
everyone
knows they're
knows.
bad.
Everyone
Or
knows
not
from the
bad, but
original tweet. Everyone knew it was going to be something little from the original tweet, but
fair
it,
enough, yeah.
I feel like people just can't read. Like I feel like it just comes down to that. Like people just can't read. Like my friend Max on Twitter, he was just like, "Oh my god, I gotta find it." It was like something about the direct, and it's like I can't read. Here, let me find this meme real quick.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
so it's like this Arthur meme, and it shows the tweet saying on 7/20 will debut the first Nintendo Direct Mini, a partner showcase, a series focused on, and then it just like blacks out like everything that actually described the tweet, and then it ends with saying previously announced Nintendo Switch games, and then it's like a door, and it's like a door sign, and the bottom says that sign won't stop me because I can't read. Like that's
Yeah,
basically
that's a
the entire
classic
fan
meme.
base. Yeah, it's basically the entire fan base summed up into one. Like I don't know, man. People just
Yeah,
can't
no, you're
expect
right.
that, but Nintendo also has to do their part to kind of describe that it's not going to be all that, you know? Like Nintendo of America was even criticized heavily for how they kind of announced it, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, that's
you're not wrong.
yeah,
No,
that's
you're
pretty
not
much
wrong at
it.
all. Okay, now that we're on the topic of, the fan base being very toxic, I have a story from
But
a
yeah.
couple of years ago. It's
Yep.
kind of a long one, so I waited to say it, but
Sure.
it's pretty funny. So, um, this is 2019. Yeah, this is like over a year ago. February 2019. So okay, well, January 2019, we knew nothing about the upcoming year. Like literally nothing. This is like we knew Luigi's Mansion, I think, was a thing, and that's it. Like Luigi's Mansion 3. Um,
Yep.
so we were in a similar position to where we were now, except it wasn't nearly as bad. Um, and we were like, okay, Nintendo, you're gonna do your January Direct, right? Come on, like do the
Yeah.
January Direct.
I mean that
They did
that's
not do
just
the
like
January
that
Direct.
happens every time, yeah.
Yeah, they did not do the January Direct, and it ended up they did. Well, they never confirmed this, but the widely accepted theory is that they ended up not doing the January Direct because the January Direct, which was then in February, announced Super Mario Maker 2, and New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe had just come out in January, so they didn't
Yeah.
want to announce Maker right then because no one would buy you, blah blah blah. So everyone was waiting for so long. It was like a very palpable, like, you know, everyone's anxious, everyone's on the edge of their seat, similar to how it is now. And then the direct came out and everyone liked it. It had Mario Maker 2, Link's Awakening, the remake, of course.
Hmm.
It was overall, I would say, big thumbs
Solid.
up. It was a good
Yeah.
direct, yeah. So within the next week, I made a video that was talking about the next Nintendo Direct after that one. Oh my lord.
I remember this. I
Everyone
remember this. Yeah.
everyone goes, "Bro, are you kidding me? We just
So
waited so
ungrateful.
long for Direct and we just got one. You're so ungrateful. Nintendo could literally do anything and you won't blah 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 blah." People were telling me to kill myself. It was a whole thing. And obviously like I don't care. If I'm going to get like, that much for comments, most of them just make me laugh cuz I know I'm not a bad person for asking for another Direct. So like, what am I supposed like? I'm just reading these comments, kind of chuckling to myself. And if something ever does like, get me
Yeah.
kind of like pressed, I'll literally just turn off my phone and that's it. And then I'm perfectly fine. Go play with, my boys, hang out with the boys or play some video games or, have fun with my family. Like literally anything else. And so because, I have a life outside Nintendo, unlike apparently most of the fan base. So I was like, bro, come on. And the thing that pissed me off the most was
Jesus.
this video was about a potential like a direct from one of for like it wasn't going to be another general direct because obviously we just got one in February, so I didn't think we were going to get one in like a week.
Yeah.
So it was about a potential Pokemon direct, a potential indie direct, because we knew there was a Pokemon game coming out that year. So I was like, hey, they normally do Pokemon directs around this time, blah blah blah. There could be one like very soon. Of
Yep.
course, no one actually listened to the video, so no one heard that. The Mario Maker 2, I said there was going to be a Mario Maker 2 direct because there was Mario Maker 2 was coming out June at the time and it was February and we knew nothing besides the original trailer. So I was like, "Hey guys, within the next couple of months there will probably be a Mario Maker 2 direct. Stay tuned for that."
Yep.
I did a couple of videos like that. Or I did a couple of, said a couple of stuff like that.
Hmm.
On Twitter specifically, I remember the YouTube like to dislike ratio is around like 88%, which is it's not good by any means, but it's not like abhorrent. So it's
Yeah.
like 80% likes, 20% dislikes. Not terrible. Definitely, something's up with that video. Like you can tell, like, okay, some like people did not like this video more than average, but it
Yeah.
wasn't horrible. The comments, there were some people saying, "Hey man, we just got one. Like, what are you talking about?" But overall, people were fine. Twitter though, and this was back when I had like less than 100 followers, or not less than 100. I probably had like 300 followers because I didn't really use Twitter much back then. But I used it to tweet out my videos. So I did. That tweet got so like I got ratioed on that tweet mad hard. I got like it was probably like 20 likes and like over like I literally got like over 100 replies. Like big like Nintendo news people. I use that quote in like huge quotes because like people I'm not going to name anyone's ats or anyone's names, but like there were some like Nintendo Twitter personalities who like don't have channels but they're just popular off Twitter, which I didn't even know was a thing, but okay. um
Yep.
there were some pretty big Nintendo news channels, Nintendo personalities who saw that this kid who made a video was just getting absolutely dumped on, might as well get some free Twitter points. So they made a tweet going, "This is what's wrong with the Nintendo community, LOL." Some of them just screenshotted my tweet and like blacked it out, but then people in the comments of their tweet were just like, "Oh, this is at switched off," so that did absolutely nothing. Some people literally just straight up like quote retweeted this
Twitter's
and said,
ruthless.
"Yeah, I know." They said like this is a bad take, and obviously none of it actually got to me. But the part that makes me so unbelievably like not mad but just like so like, bro, you guys
Disappointed.
are actually so stupid. Like you guys are actually brain dead. Guess what we got 4 days, literally 4 days after I posted my video?
Do
A
tell.
Pokemon Direct. a Pokemon Direct with Sword and Shield announced in the thing. So I had gotten so much for saying, "Oh, guys, there's going to be another Direct." I posted my video like 3 days after the Direct, and then 4 days after my video, so literally a week after the Direct, we got another Direct, which was the entire point of my video. But people were like, "Oh, you're just ungrateful," blah 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 blah. It's like, shut up. And that, this brings me to my final thesis of this story, which is people are more inclined to defend the company rather than think critically with their brains. They are more inclined to go, "Oh, why are you're asking for more stuff from Nintendo even though we just got stuff? That's horrible. You should be executed. You should be killed." Not actually, but well, some people were sending death threats, but that's just anywhere on the internet. That's not even specifically a Nintendo thing. But
That is
people
true.
were going like, "Oh, dude, you're this, you're that." I'm like, "Bro." And then I'm just chilling here because I'm like, "Bro, I'm making Nintendo videos. I don't care. Y'all can chill." And then literally 4 days after my video, I was right. And I was one of the only people even talking about directs possibly happening. And I remember the funniest thing was one of the people who, made a joke, or not made a joke, but like, tweeted kind of like roasting me
Yeah, yeah.
after my initial thing. They work for like a big, I'm not going to name them because I don't want to, start anything, but they work for a pretty big like news channel. And I remember seeing that news channel post Pokemon Direct announced, and it was probably the funniest thing. I started dying because
Yeah.
I don't think it was the exact same person who roasted me reporting on it in the video, but it was, man, it
Just the
was a
label
beautiful.
itself. Yeah.
Exactly, bro.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just the fact that people are more inclined to instinctively go, "Oh, what? This kid's saying Nintendo's going to do something else. I mean, he must be wrong. We just had one, so I'm going to go instinctively defend Nintendo." Instead of actually watching the video you're roasting me over and realizing that, hey, okay, I'm thinking about this logically. There's logic here. This is definitely possible because, it ended up actually happening. So it's like, bro, come on. At that point, just like get off the internet. Like at that point, you lose your internet privilege. If you're gonna actually roast someone and then the person you're roasting was
Yeah.
right, oh my god, bro, it's so brutal. It's
Yeah.
so dumb.
Like,
But hey, I mean, eh, it's the
yeah,
internet for you.
yeah, that's a pretty funny story. I remember when that happened though,
Yeah,
in real
I
time.
was, and I remember I was on vacation actually. I was on vacation
I
somewhere with
remember.
very limited Wi-Fi.
Yep,
So I
yep.
I would like I would refresh my Twitter and it would literally take like 30 seconds to refresh. So I'd refresh, put my phone good down, go like do something, come back, and I just see a wave of just hate, and I'm like, bro, come on, you got to be kidding me. And so I'd respond to someone, I'd be like, "Hey, well, if you actually watched the video, you would see that this is not what you're this is not what you think it is." And the worst part about this is most of the like YouTubers and people who were like calling me out, as soon as I responded to their thing, like they would reply to my tweet and be like, "Oh yeah, man, haha, this is all in good fun, blah 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 blah." But it's so dumb because if you read their original tweet, it's like, "Well, no, this is clearly not in good fun. Like you said, I was like, what's wrong with the community?"
Yeah.
And then as soon as I call you out on it, I'm like, "Hey man, if you actually watch the video, this is not what I was saying at all." They're like, "Oh man, it's all in good fun." It's like,
Yeah.
no, no, this is not your place to say it's all in good fun when you're sending your wave of like literally tens of thousands of Twitter followers to go, harass my at the time
Relatively small channel
like
compared to them.
20k subscriber channel. It's
Yeah.
like, bro, come on, bro. So that's probably my worst
YouTube
Twitter,
experience.
or
Or
worst, not even
yeah.
experience, because looking back on it, it's a positive one because it's mad funny to see all these
Oh yeah. Yeah,
dumbasses,
you're right. You're right.
get absolutely roasted. But just probably my
Yeah.
worst, like my worst experience with the fan base. Because
I mean, my worst
it's
experience
eye
was today.
opening.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
fair
my
enough.
worst experience was today, just
Fair enough.
from the backlash of the direct, and then this one person on Twitter. Oh my god, bro! Like they were saying that Gino might be in Smash because this person on GameSpot accidentally said that Gino was confirmed into Smash, and he was actually like a
Oh, I
spirit.
saw this a while ago. Yeah, this
Yeah,
was a couple of days ago, I
yeah,
think,
yeah. And
actually.
like I just saw it, and like
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, they cut out that segment, so that has to mean that Gino was coming to Smash. Like, No, it was misinformation because Gino is not playable. He's a spirit, and they probably cut it out because of that. And like,
Yeah.
how does GameSpot have any affiliation with the Smash roster? Like, do you seriously think that they would tell the Smash roster to like media? No, they have no reason to. They literally have zero reason to. So it's like, just ugh. Anyway,
It's
um,
people do not think critically, and people also
Jesus,
will not allow other people to have fun.
that too, yeah.
Like I make I made so many of those Mario remaster videos because,
We both did, yeah.
A, we both enjoy talking about that. That is probably the most fun I've had on YouTube.
Yeah, me too.
Even though the quality of those videos, like in terms of like, production,
Editing, yeah, yeah.
they weren't crazy. Like I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
putting insane amounts of time and effort into editing them like I do with the concepts or the Nintendo Director, like playing Paper Mario with paper. But just I'm so passionate about that, and to put something out that I'm super passionate about and to see the response it got, which was incredible, by the way. Thank you guys so much for that. Like so many people were like, oh my god, man, I love seeing your enthusiasm for these games, blah blah blah, all that stuff. It was so nice, and so I kept doing it and it kept working, and we cranked out so many videos because it was what people were enjoying, what people
Yeah.
kept asking for, and what we enjoyed doing. And then you get people like, bro, you're just feeding into the rumors. When this inevitably doesn't happen, it's gonna be, you're gonna, like, everyone's gonna be so mad. And people saying like, oh man, like, it's just, it's speculation. Like, the point of it is rumors. It's just what
Yeah.
we enjoy is the speculation. Like, obviously playing the games is fun, and that's where most of the fun will be had. But at least in terms of our videos, a lot of the time we want to just speculate. We want to just talk about it, and that's
Yep.
perfectly harmless. It doesn't affect anyone. If that video somehow does affect you, just click off the video.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. This just turned into
Anyway.
like a giant, like, therapy, not therapy, but you know what I mean, like ranting session of just
Yep. Just a
absolute,
huge
like,
tangent on the fan base itself, but yeah.
yeah,
Let's move on to questions now because we've spent about, I think
of
it's like
course.
50-ish minutes on this now, so we're good.
I apologize.
Oh
That
no,
can be
you're
my
good.
bad.
That story was good. No, the story
I
was good. Pretty
Yeah,
informative. It's pretty funny. Like,
pretty
it's
funny.
good.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see here, looking through YouTube comments. Okay, yeah, this is an interesting one. So, question from Bloobable. I just want to say that correctly so I don't say something wrong. Asking, do you think that Nintendo should go into the console wars, like as in Xbox versus PlayStation, or stay by themselves and just slowly gather up everything? So, personally, I don't think that Nintendo is ever going to dabble into that. They've always kind of been aside, at least in modern gaming. I guess they haven't really like been competitive with like Xbox or PlayStation, anything like that. They've always been like standalone, release whatever they want. Like, normally they release a console like, I don't know, a couple years
Ever
after
since the Wii,
Xbox.
yeah.
Yeah, like after Xbox and like PlayStation. So you know, this was said by you best. Like, they always take a step forward and then a step to the side, because Nintendo is just kind
Yeah.
of weird like that. So yeah, I think they'll stay kind of standalone, doing whatever they, are doing because it's worked for them, and they don't have to compete like that to obviously be successful.
And I think that's where they're best at. I
Yep,
don't think they're
agreed.
good at competing, like trying to get the best graphics or stuff like that.
Hmm.
That's just not their strong suit. So I hope they stay out, and I think they will, because they kind of learned their lesson. After the GameCube, which they were trying to compete, and then the GameCube sold terribly, and then the Wii, they were like, let's try something random, and then it did the Wii. So yeah, um, yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
All right. So next question here from Cheese or Chezzy Copter, asking, do you guys think that Breath of the Wild 2 could be rated M? And what do you guys think it will be like?
No,
Uh, I don't think Zelda is ever going to be rated M, but we've always kind of like put this title on Breath of the Wild 2 as Curse of the Wild and have it kind of like more eerie themed. So, I mean, I think it could be interesting, but I don't even think a Zelda game has been rated M. Like,
no,
I
never,
I want to I want to
never.
look that up, but
No, I can tell you never.
all right.
There's no way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's no way. I don't
Yeah,
even
I
think.
don't really think so.
I don't even know. Was Metroid Prime rated M?
Not
Uh,
sure.
I don't think it was. Metroid Prime Trilogy yeah, Metroid Prime Trilogy was rated T for teen. I honestly am not sure if Nintendo has ever put out a rated M, like, game by the main Nintendo. Like, there's no way Zelda is rated M for mature, although it will be pretty dark.
I
I
hope it
almost said it.
is.
Yeah, I almost said Awada, rest in peace, but Aonuma said that it will be darker than Majora's Mask. He said in an interview
Wow,
at
cool.
E3 2019. So that'll be good. Because darker than Majora's Mask, that's pretty
Yeah.
nice. Once again, yeah, I mean, you said it best. Curse of the Wild is the name I want. I want it to be dark and
Yep.
be more story driven. That's pretty much it. I believe we did an entire podcast, or not an entire podcast, but there
Segment.
was a section of a segment about
Yep.
Breath
Yep.
of the Wild. So if you want to look back through the older podcast, you can get a more in depth answer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll be clipped in the future, but I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, definitely go look through past episodes if you
Yeah.
missed that. And Twilight Princess is what I was thinking of, and that was rated T.
Yeah.
So
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No way that any
I
of them got.
did not know. So this is
All good.
actually a pretty interesting one. So a question here from CP Vinyl Digs asking, do you guys think there could ever be an Earthbound remake by Toby Fox? I think that's pretty interesting.
I don't think so. I
Yeah,
appreciate the I think
the
it's a
thought.
good
Yeah,
idea. Yeah, because okay, so Toby Fox is the Undertale guy, and Undertale, he got his like game development start or something, or like became famous in the underground like game dev scene for his Earthbound remake or like ROM hacks, I
yeah.
think.
ROM hack
And
is yeah, yep, yep.
yeah, and the reason he or not the reason, but like the way Undertale was, or the reason Undertale was the way that it was is heavily inspired by Earthbound. I think actually the Megalovania song originated in an Earthbound ROM hack, so clearly a lot of inspiration from there. Also, he has somewhat worked with Nintendo, Sans and Smash. So, but there's no way Nintendo gives out one of those franchises to a one-man team. I mean, like the closest scenario would be if he got the rights to the characters to do a spin-off similar to how Cadence of Hyrule exists. I still don't even really see that happening,
Man,
but that's the absolute closest. And even then it wouldn't be a remake, it would be a weird spin-off similar to Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle or similar to Cadence of Hyrule or similar to Starlink Battle for Alice because Nintendo isn't letting other companies take or other, studios take their main series, if that makes sense.
yep, gotcha. Okay, so this is just a question just for me. So, question here from Zach underscore 207 asking me what happened to Nintendo Now. So I stopped the series because it wasn't doing as well as our other videos, and we figured we didn't really want to go in the direction of reporting on news as Nintendo Now was, because there's other platforms specifically made for news. So I found it kind of pointless. So I figured that we would just go, toward our regular Switch Stop content, which includes Thomas's concepts and just the regular Switch Stop videos that you guys have been showing amazing support on. So I highly doubt I'll ever go back to it. It was a mix of it not being good for the channel and me not really enjoying it. So, yeah, apologies if you didn't or if you enjoyed it, and I'm not doing it anymore. But that's just how it is, unfortunately. So, next question here from Ethan Mastercrafter. By the way, thank you for sending in so many great questions, dude, because like we've been answering yours like every
Yeah, I feel like Ethan's
episode.
on
Yep.
fire with the questions.
Yep. Asking, do you think we'll get any brand new kind of Joy-Cons like Joy-Con Pro, almost like how Hori Split Pad Pro did it? Oh, I thought that was something else.
That
Keep up the
No,
good
no,
work.
no.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
that's a that was just a controller with a D-pad, by the
Yeah,
way, for
yeah.
anyone who didn't know the Hori one.
Gotcha. I mean, I hope so because my Joy-Cons are drifting more than Mario and Mario Kart, so I don't know. I mean,
Yikes.
Joy-Cons itself frustrate me. I've always wanted, like, if they ever do a Switch Pro, those hot swappable buttons that you did for that concept, I think would be sick. I don't know what exactly they would call a Joy-Con Pro because it doesn't really work like that. They would run into a few
Yeah.
troubles, but I mean, what do you think?
I mean, I agree with you. I hope so. I don't think it'll happen for a year or two. Just because
Yeah,
the Switch is still relatively new, and I think if they're gonna do a Joy-Con Pro, it would have to come with a Switch Pro or like something like that. I don't think they're just gonna release a controller revision without a console revision alongside it.
gotcha. All right, so there's two questions from this guy, and then we're going to end the segment. So, ballistic underscore dub H asks, hey, I love both your videos and your podcast. Don't know why they aren't more popular. Well, the podcast, I mean, it's kind of started on a new channel, so it's going to take a while to catch up to
Yeah.
Switch Stop. So, bear with us, but we're grinding it out. So, question: how long do you want to continue doing podcasts for? And he has the Nintendo-based question, but we'll get to that after we answer this. So, I mean, I feel like we could just do the podcast, like, you know, whenever.
Forever.
I mean,
I mean, until we stop Switch
yeah.
Stop, like I see no reason to stop it. And
I
just
mean,
because I said
yeah,
until we stop Switch Stop doesn't mean we're stopping it. Like that's literally
yeah,
nothing we've ever discussed.
yeah.
We still feel like we're just getting started, which
Oh,
is
of
very good. Like
course.
we feel like
Yeah, big plans, big
this is the
plans.
beginning. I mean, we have like yeah, we have crazy plans. Who knows if they'll ever get actually, like ever actually happen, but we're
Yeah,
both working really hard on it, on everything really, on the
yeah.
Switch
I
Stop,
mean,
yeah.
I hope to do podcasts like, for a long time. I mean, I really enjoy it. It's very laid back, and the amount of
We're
like
chilling.
relationships that you can make with other YouTubers from, inviting them onto the podcast, like, like our friend of the channel, Cyroth, and just like other people we've met in the community from collaborating. It's a cool thing. And again, we're just getting started. I mean, we're not even at episode 10. And I think for something so different like this, it's great start, to be honest, because I don't think
Yeah.
anyone has ever like done a sort of side podcast like this as like the channel that we are for right now. So, um, you know, whenever, whenever, I see no end is basically what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
the Nintendo based question is, what Mario remakes slash remasters are you most looking forward to? Obviously Thomas 3D World and me Sunshine. Uh, I mean,
Yeah. It's as simple as
yeah,
that, ladies and
yeah,
gentlemen.
yeah. There you go. Yeah, that's the end of the question segment. So we can end it off.
All right. I'm trying to think. I feel like I had something else to say, but I don't necessarily
Oh, we
remember
talked
what it
about it at
is.
the beginning. I think yeah, it was about episode 10. Yeah.
You're right. That's exactly what it was. Um, episode 10. Okay, so this is actually kind of interesting. I guess episode 10 and 11 are both gonna have special guests. Episode 10, uh, it it's just gonna be it's gonna be like a. I mean, do we announce the full thing, or do we tease it a bit more, PJ, and finally announce it
Um,
a bit later?
I feel like you don't announce the person or people, but I feel like you announce the concept
All right,
of what it's
concept.
gonna be.
All right, Nintendo Tonight is going live, baby. We're going on
Yeah.
tour. Nintendo Tonight tour. We're going around 50 cities across the world, and yeah. So during
Imagine.
COVID too, which will cause some controversy, but we're gonna be doing it. And we'll end up in Kyoto, Japan, and we are going to raid Nintendo HQ and steal 3D World Deluxe. So
Yep.
we're really excited for you
Yep.
guys. Okay,
And hopefully not go to jail.
yeah, that would put a damper on our podcast for sure.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Don't think they have good microphones in the jail cells of Kyoto, Japan. But
Yeah,
who
but
knows?
we're planning to go live on YouTube for episode 10 on this channel. Um, a special guest, 100% we're gonna have on there. We may have two. That's currently unconfirmed, but the plan for right now is it to be a Mario Kart centric podcast talking about the future of the franchise and all of that, just Mario Kart 9 and whatever that could be and whenever it'll come out. So hopefully you guys are going to look forward to that, and it's going to be pretty interesting because we haven't done a live episode before, and sometimes we have to cut out or bleep out sections of the podcast, so it'll be an interesting one to say the least
Yeah,
to do it
well,
live.
we're looking forward on it. It should be
Yeah, of
fun.
course, it'll be fun.
Um, yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
that's
okay.
about it.
I mean
I mean
that's
you
that's
can.
literally it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, be sure to follow us on all of our Twitters. At Switch Stop, at PJ_Switch Stop, and at Nintendo Tonight. Be sure to keep sending in those questions on Twitter and YouTube. We're always looking for them to answer on the podcast. Thank you to all of you guys who have been supporting. We have reached like 1K views on 2 recent episodes that we did, which is pretty crazy because we don't even have 1K subs on this channel yet. So
Yeah, wait,
thank you guys
how
for the
did that
support.
happen?
I don't know, dude.
Who is watching and isn't subbed? I will find you guys. I will find you.
I'll find you and
No,
thank
I
you,
won't.
man.
Yeah, I'll thank you. Yeah, thank you for the support. Also another thing, really interesting before we sign off. Some of you guys in the comments, you've been leaving some pretty questionable things. So if you've been listening this long to the podcast, and you use the podcast to help you guys fall asleep, I mean, more power to you. We've talked about this. We do not get it. I do not find myself relaxing, and I don't think PJ finds me relaxing either. I don't think he finds himself relaxing. But more power to you. I'll try not to randomly scream in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah, imagine episode 10. Just go, ah!
Yeah, just in the middle of it, I'm just gonna start screaming
wake
at the top of my
up!
lung.
Yeah, just gotta look at eventually, like, you guys aren't gonna get it. Like, we're gonna go find your names in the comments. People who are sleeping to the podcast, you're gonna scream your name. You're gonna go, what the hell? It's gonna.
Yeah, if anyone says they're sleeping, I'm just gonna scream out the username. Maybe I'll like do a little.
You guys aren't gonna expect it. I'm telling you, it could be really soon or really far from now, but you never know.
Could be right now, Jason. I don't know if there's a Jason, but there could be. And if there is a Jason, they just got scared crapless. So sorry, Jason.
Anyway, ending off. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Sorry if I offended anyone during this because I said some pretty mean things to the Nintendo community, but obviously I love the Nintendo community. Just sometimes
they just don't,
sometimes you guys know what I'm saying. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been the 9th ever episode of Nintendo Tonight.